On today's episode of Video Marketing Madness, we're going to share some new places to share your videos that are really hot. And we're even going to talk a little bit about some YouTube advertising and how it's changing for certain people. And today's episode, of course, made possible by freevideoeditor.co. If you're looking to start creating your own videos so you can put them on YouTube, well, you need to have a video editor, and we've got one that is 100% free. Just head on over to freevideoeditor.co, where you can pick up the editing program and some of our other goodies and start editing like a pro. Again, that's at freevideoeditor.co, and leave off the last M for Munster, as in the cheese. Why not, right? All right, let's hit that song.
He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.
And it's the radio show about Video Marketing Madness with Ray the Video Guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper on the Earn.show podcast network. You can subscribe to us on Earn.show or Stitcher or Blog Talk Radio. Or YouTube. Or Ray's favorite, iTunes.
And Facebook Live.
Facebook Live, that's right.
Lots of different places. Yes, and of course, if you're listening to us on iTunes, of course, you want to leave a nice 5-star review, and if you do, we will buy you a Ferrari. That's not true, but we still want your 5-star review anyway.
I'm still waiting for my Ferrari.
I know, it's coming.
I left a nice review about 5 years ago.
I know. Well, someday it'll come. I don't know. Promise. So with that, we talked a little bit before the show started with some of the live people. Were mentioning, you said I had a tough day today. Well, it hasn't really been tough, but it's been interesting. For those of you who don't know, I'm actually working on a local business, and we're pretty close to being done putting everything together, and then we ran into a little snag. We had an electrical issue at the building, and the building owner went and fixed it. And of course, he didn't pull the proper permits, and he didn't contact Edison. And so now Edison complained to the city, and the city's chasing him around, and they're blaming us because we're part of it and we had nothing to do with it. And so now this morning I had to race out at the last minute to go for a building inspection for the electricity. And when we got there, the guy had already been there and left. And
city
guy. And we were told to be there at 10, and apparently he was there at 9:15.
Just to jack with you.
Probably. Well, considering they called and told me to be there at 10 at 9:30, and he'd already been there since 9:15, that something a little odd about that. But anyway, so now we've got to reschedule that. And by the way, we can't do any of the work on the building. We can't even touch anything until they check that out. So we're not allowed to finish putting props together. Well, I guess we could do props, but we can't do any of the work in the building. We can't paint walls. We can't, put up lights. We can't do anything. So we're just kind of sitting there. So it's a big hassle, especially from a city that, is posting everywhere about how they're trying to be more business friendly and get more businesses in and pushing what they call extreme customer service. Well, I don't know. Apparently, extreme customer service is having the building inspector scream at you on the phone when you had nothing to do with what the building owner did, and them starting to punish you and ask for new things they didn't want before, and it feels very punitive, and it's kind of petty and weird. But
well, the thing is, it's one thing to advertise something; it's another thing to have the culture for it, and that's one big thing about branding, for instance, is. Okay, you're trying to have a brand. Do your people know about it, and do they reflect the brand? United Airlines tries to say, we treat our customers right, but the culture sucks.
Fly the friendly skies. Well, they weren't so friendly.
Yes, yeah.
Hey, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
So, with that, now you mentioned advertising, so let's get right into the fun stuff here. YouTube advertising. Now, for those of you that do any YouTube advertising, even if it's just $5 a day to get some more views to your video or whatnot. Some of the advertising has changed recently, and we did talk about part of this a couple weeks ago in that you now have to have 10,000 views on your channel, and that can be over 1 million videos as long as your channel itself has 10,000 views.
Now, that's revenue share, right? You can still place the $5 ads. Okay.
Yes, this is for if you want to have ads run on your videos, you have to have 10,000 views total. So you could have 10 videos with X number of views on them. It equals up to 10,000 before you can start having ads run in your videos. So you won't be able to monetize your videos until you have 10,000 views, which is not hard to do, fortunately. But it's just to kind of weed things out. But one of the big changes they've had is they've changed their video categories to make more things restricted. And the reason for this is because, some of the advertisers were getting ticked off that they were being put onto videos that they felt were inappropriate for their brand. And so, in other words, one of the big things affected was video gamers. Campbell Soup, and I'm just making that up. I don't know if Campbell Soup had anything to do with it. Campbell Soup probably doesn't want to be on as an advertiser for a video of a 14-year-old screaming the F word every 5 minutes as he gets blown up in a video game. And so that's where some of this has come. But there's some real major casualties to this as well. For instance, one of the categories that is classified in this restricted area now is pro wrestling videos. So all these companies that, these smaller companies that run events and then post their videos online and make ad revenue, now that's gone. They're not going to be able to make much ad revenue, and people aren't even going to be able to find those videos very easily because they're considered restricted now, kind of like anything that had nudity or anything. And so people won't be able to find them as easily. And that includes, by the way, the gigantic WWE. All of their content is falling into that category. So the one good thing about this is when you've got one big company like that, they'll probably put the kibosh on this a little bit very quickly and hopefully change that. It makes me wonder, what happens to a guy like PewDiePie? Is he going to be considered restricted because he does video games? Now, I saw a thing today that said that he's made over $120 million in YouTube ad revenue.
Wow.
Over the last, however many years. And that's incredible. So I can imagine being affected by that probably wouldn't be very fun for a guy like him. He's probably not going to be too happy about that.
There was some talk about him pulling stuff from YouTube.
Could be, yeah. He might be moving to this.
Yeah, before this happened, yeah.
Yeah, he might be moving to some of the other category. I mean, there's Amazon has their now I can't even think of the name of the video game version of videos, and it's a very popular one. But Amazon owns it now, and I can't even think of the name of it.
Their version of Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch. That's the one. Yes, Twitch.
Yeah.
Which is owned by Amazon now. So Amazon
they own Twitch. Okay.
Yes, they own Twitch. They bought it. Okay. So, as they're supposed to be getting into a very YouTube-like environment as well. So, but that's one of the changes. Now, the fortunate thing is for guys like us who are running ads, it's really not going to affect us too much. An ad that got 10 million, impressions last month is probably still going to get 10 million impressions this month. It's just not going to be on a lot of, some of the videos will be different that it's on. Now, the one thing I don't know is, let's say, what if you're an advertiser who is selling video game equipment or selling pro wrestling tapes? Are you going to be able to find those videos and still advertise on them? It looks like you can. It just looks like they're not going to be found in the search engines nearly as much, and that they're not going to get ads placed on them as much. But if you choose to place an ad on them, I think that's still going to be perfectly fine. So I think in those cases, you can still do those types of things. So
okay, yeah.
That's kind of where it sits with that.
Yeah.
So that's the changes in advertising. It should make things interesting. Again, for most of us, we're running ads. It's not going to affect us too much. But for those of you who are trying to monetize videos, it could affect you a little bit there. So just something to think about.
Yeah, I've never made a cent off monetizing videos, but
Well, my thing was I've always
I'm chuckling. Yeah, I'm ranking stuff in Google. That's what I do.
Yeah, I'm not always trying to get money back from advertising as much as I am just trying to get eyeballs. But yeah. we've definitely made a lot of money doing it.
Have you?
Oh yeah. We ran one of the first times I ever ran an ad on YouTube was specifically just to get more views to the video so it would rank higher.
Right.
And so we paid like $5 or $10, but we sold like 10 copies of the product and made like $700.
Oh yeah, and
So-
that works great for affiliate stuff.
Yeah.
I'm ranking videos for attorneys, and we're just trying to get it ranked. I'm not even targeting the $5.
Yeah.
Just run.
And that's
and
and
that's
that's exactly what I do a lot of times. Is if I'm running it mostly to get the video, some views and whatnot, I'll run it very broad. It's an attorney video, but we're running it to everybody, no matter what they doing. And then if I'm trying to get more targeted afterwards, after a day or two, then I'll scale that down and make it fit the audience a little better. So
now, just a little off topic, but I had some questions when I was running those ads.
Yeah.
And so I went on the chat feature, and the customer service is excellent.
Oh, yeah.
They made me feel like I was $1 million client, and I'm spending $5. I mean,
you're absolutely right. As a matter of fact, I've had them call me on the phone.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe it was YouTube at first.
Yeah.
I thought it was somebody trying to sell me something. She's like, no, I'm at YouTube. I'm your rep. And I said, oh, okay. And she helped me to, when I was first learning how to do ads, she walked me through all the steps, and she's like, here's the secret. What you want to do is break it up like this. Don't try to do both. Run 2 campaigns and run this one this way and run this one that way, rather than trying to do both in the same, So she really helped out a lot to get some of those things done, and taught me a lot about the ad platform. So
yeah, they understand the value of a customer, at least in that particular area.
They don't get vindictive and try to shut off your electricity. I mean, it's a very very good little company. So they seem to do well. And I know people have complaints about other things, but they've been
I'm
very
just
good
glad
in the
that
ads.
didn't. I'm just glad that the electrical thing didn't happen to me.
Yeah.
Because what do I? At one time I could just go get drunk and forget about it, but I don't drink anymore. Yeah, I guess I'd complain to the wife and eat a chocolate bar. That's about
There
it.
you go.
That's all I
Yeah,
can
well,
do.
that's all you can do. I mean, going back to the electrical situation. Sorry, guys, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
The other day when they fixed that box, I had to be in that building sitting there for 6 hours in the dark. Because I had to be there, and and it's like, oh my goodness. So that was a big nasty hassle. So
Didn't you go on a camping trip last weekend?
I did. I also went on a camping trip, so we didn't have electricity in most of the place there either. So that's
Yeah, but that was probably a little more pleasurable. Somewhat.
and that wasn't too bad. Well, except
it
there was 200 screaming kids running around, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, but still, get screamed at the phone by the city or screaming kids.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll go with the screaming kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
All right,
So
so let's get into the main topic here today. We're going to talk about.
I'm looking forward to this. This is cool.
Yeah, well, and probably a lot of this isn't necessarily going to be a major surprise to people that are out there, but obviously YouTube and Facebook are the big places that we put our videos. We make sure that they get out there on YouTube, they get ranked on YouTube, they get put on Facebook and shared with everybody, and everybody has a good time with all these different videos. But there's a lot of platforms out there that you really need to pay attention to, and some of them have changed over the years. Some of them have gone away, some of them have stopped working, some of them have become better, some of them have popped in out of nowhere, some of them are not video places but have started to really do a lot with video. And the first one I want to talk about is kind of the big one in the room, because believe it or not, there are people getting millions of video views from this one platform that is not considered a video platform. What did you say?
Reddit.
Well, Reddit's a good one, but no, it's not Reddit. It is actually Instagram. Instagram is a very big one now and getting bigger all the time. In fact, there are some brands like BuzzFeed that literally just get millions and millions of views and have millions of followers by running videos on there. Now, you have to be very strategic with your videos. They have to be a minute long. They can't be any longer than that. So there's a lot of restrictions as far as that goes. And as far as, monetizing from them or getting calls to action out of them, unless you're running ads, you kind of have to hope people are willing to do a little bit of work, because, of course, you can't put links in your Instagram posts, which is, kind of crazy. But so a lot of people have to rely on, either a lot of times people will change their profile and put a clickable link in their profile that goes to something specific that they're promoting through their Instagram account that day. And of course, the other big thing is to still put the URL in there, and people have to copy and paste it, which, people can do that. People understand how to do that. It's a bit of a hassle, and you have to worry that people are too lazy to go in there and copy your URL and paste it into another browser window, but that works as well. But the thing is it just gets a lot of eyeballs. And if you can start to build a brand this way, they're going to find you in other places. But you go in there and you just got to consistently put good stuff, consistently put interesting stuff, make them come and find you in other places. And of course, change some of those URLs in your profiles, or change the URL in your profile so that people that go back and look to see who you are can actually click on your name, take them to that website. And of course, just putting the URLs in there, get people to click that way. Now, the other thing about Instagram that a lot of people don't realize is that you can do live video on Instagram. And this can be very powerful because, I get it all the time. So-and-so's gone live on Instagram. And those are watched quite a bit. They get a lot of views. But there is a downside. If you haven't used this before, as soon as you're done with your Instagram live video, it goes away. Yeah. So if people don't watch it while it's live, it's gone. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing that you definitely want to pay attention to. So you can upload videos there. You can do live videos there. Limited by the fact that you can't have clickable links per se, but definitely something that is gets a lot of eyeballs. And for those of you who've ever used Instagram at all, you know that people tend to respond fast. When I post something on Instagram, I start getting responses to that within seconds. Every morning, one of the things that I do every morning, and people probably think this is automated, but it's actually not. One of the first things that I do every morning is I use my
take a shower.
Well, no. Besides that, and usually what I do first in the morning is I actually do my journaling. So I've got 5-minute journal, and the first thing that 5-minute journal does is it gives you a quote of the day that you can then share. So every morning I share it to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and people probably think it's automated because it's almost every day at almost the same time, but it's actually not. It's actually me posting it every time. And, it's just a nice little feature. And literally every time I post that in the morning, I see on my phone, so-and-so liked your image, your post on Instagram, and boom, boom, boom. And it just comes fast and quick all the time. So it's a very, very quick moving platform. People notice your stuff and they respond to it. And so that's the first one we want to talk about, is that Instagram for your videos. You can upload your videos into Instagram. Now, again, we talk about limitations here. If you're on your desktop and you want to post a video to Instagram, you kind of have to cheat the system a little bit and use extra software, because you most of the time you need your phone to do Instagram and post videos from your phone. But there are ways around that where basically your Instagram thinks it's a phone and connects with you and lets you do that. So you have to use some of those different softwares that'll do that for you. But sharing videos on there is a great way to get people to pay attention to your videos. And again, you can get traffic. So
yeah,
there you go. So the next one,
that thing you do first in the morning is cool. I've always gotten a big kick out of that.
Yeah. Well, you have to have a nice little morning routine. I've got a whole routine I do in the morning each day. So it's
mine is sleep. I
get up at about 5:30 in the morning.
I know.
Get started each day, but
you're up before me Central Time.
Yeah.
And you live on the West Coast.
That's right. Right. So the next one I want to talk about is another one that's started to become really, really popular again, and we're going to learn more about that over the next few days, and that's Pinterest. Mm-hmm. Now, if you haven't used Pinterest for video, this is a great place to post your videos. Very simple and very easy to do so, and it gets a lot of response. It gets a lot of people paying attention, and the great thing about Pinterest is if you start learning about it, which I've really started getting back into Pinterest over the last about 2 weeks or so. And boy, I'll tell you, they've changed a lot. Or if they haven't changed, it just means I didn't know enough about them before. But you've got public boards that are out there now, and private boards that are out there. You can post things to them and have targeted traffic. So it's a very good place to start using. If you're not using Pinterest to post images, to post videos, you got to start doing it. But for your videos, very, very easy to post there. And of course, inside of YouTube itself, when you upload a video, there's a nice Pinterest button right there. You click on it, you post it to a certain board, and you're done. So I've got like a local business board. I've got a marketing board. I've got boards for other fun things, and I just post videos into those each and every time I upload a video. Very simple to do, and again, it gets a lot of attention, and you can even have clickbacks to different things in there as well, and it can be very powerful for that there. So there you go. So we got Instagram and we got Pinterest as two of them. Now the next one that I want to talk about is an older one, but actually there's a lot of good reasons to use it, and that's Dailymotion. And Dailymotion, people tend to forget about this sometimes, but believe it or not, when they list the 20 most visited sites in the world, Dailymotion is in that top 20, even to this day. So this is a site that gets a lot of traffic. It's not a throwaway site or an extra site. I mean, it's right there, and they get millions of views as well. So the great thing is you can upload the same videos that you upload to YouTube, upload them to Dailymotion. Now, the other cool thing about Dailymotion is that those videos tend to rank really well. So you could actually put things on Dailymotion, run some backlinking to it and whatnot, and you could actually get those to rank fairly quickly. Nowadays YouTube videos rank extremely quickly, so not as much of a big deal as it used to be. But Dailymotion was the site that we would use in the past to, if we wanted to impress a new client or a potential new client, we would put it on Dailymotion and get it ranked to page 1 in like 5 minutes, and then go, see, look, we already put a video up there, and it's already on page 1. And it didn't tend to last very long. It would kind of drop off quickly, but you could get it to page 1 extremely fast just by doing that with Dailymotion. And very good site. So it's one that people often don't think about as much as they used to, but it's one you definitely should pay attention to because it is still a very big site. It has a lot of people on it, has a lot of video views, and you can do very well with just that particular site there. The other one that goes... sorry, go ahead.
Let me throw something on Dailymotion. The thing I liked about it is I could get a YouTube video, depending on the competitiveness of the keyword, of course. But I could get a YouTube video and a Dailymotion video on page 1.
Sure.
Perfectly legal. And that was nice. It was good. And I'd put the same effort into the Dailymotion that I'd put into the YouTube. So
yeah, and I've told the story before. I've gotten I got a phone call one day, and I picked it up, and I was talking to somebody, and they said, yeah, well, I saw your video on Dailymotion and decided to give you a call, and I don't even remember what it was about, if it was a local business thing or, something about that. But they called me because they saw me on Dailymotion and wanted to, buy whatever it was that I had. And so it definitely, hey, you got the option to put it up there. Why not do it? Doesn't cost anything to do that except a few minutes of time, and it could bring you some more business. So it's well worth the efforts.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've had very good experiences.
Yeah, and hand in hand with that is Metacafe, which is another one that's actually a very big site that's still gets millions of views as well. And it's right up there with Dailymotion. I think it's a few back from them as far as the most powerful sites in the world, but it's right up there. Lots and lots of videos, lots and lots of views, and you can put your video there and really start to make a big difference in getting more views to your stuff. And that's the big thing that we want to talk about is, everything you put out there is like having a finger reaching out and trying to get people, or a hand. And the more fingers you get out there, the more opportunity you have to touch somebody. And so putting them on to places like Dailymotion and Metacafe are really going to help you do that. Now, Vimeo is another one you could do, but quite honestly, people don't tend to find Vimeo videos. They're usually put in front of you. I have never really seen Vimeo videos show up on Google search and things like that. So it's pretty rare. But those other two, definitely big sites for getting more people to see your videos, and they're still pretty darn good. So there. Go for it, Steve.
Yeah, and the other good thing about Pinterest, Dailymotion, and Metacafe is that original YouTube video, you can backlink it there.
Yes, absolutely. So that's one of the great things you can do is you'll kind of get a nice little backlink. Now, Dailymotion is one of those. I think their linking system is pretty limited as well, kind of in the way that Instagram is. But you start putting those things out there, link back to your original video, that can definitely give you a big boost to that original video.
Absolutely.
So some of the other places you should put your videos. Now, you mentioned one that wasn't really on my list, and I'll tell you why it wasn't on my list. You mentioned Reddit. Now, Reddit can be absolutely huge for sharing your video and getting people to pay attention to it. But unless I'm wrong, I don't think you can actually put your videos on Reddit.
No, it's sharing only.
Yeah. But it's a very powerful software or a very powerful site that you definitely want to link your video to, share it on there so that people can find it. And believe me, people will find your videos when they're on Reddit. So you take your YouTube video and you make sure you share it onto places like that, and it will get attention. And that goes for a lot of the other sites that we use, like Delicious and Diego and Stumble Upon, sites like that you share the current site, so the current video. You don't necessarily upload it to those sites, but you share it to there, and people will pay attention to it. People will see it. People will watch it, and you'll definitely get some traffic back from doing that, as well as a backlink that can help your video as well. So, just so everybody kind of knows, when I put up a new video that I want to make sure people see, I put it on YouTube, but I'll also put it on Dailymotion. I'll put it on Metacafe. I'll link back to the YouTube video. I'll share it on Reddit. I'll share it on Diego. I'll share it on Delicious. I'll share it on Stumble Upon, and a whole bunch of other sites that nobody's ever heard of. Just and I think even MySpace. I think we still share our videos on MySpace. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I have no idea. I haven't been. Yeah, High Five is one of them. I haven't been to MySpace in years, but we share our videos out there because there are still people there, and it's a backlink and everything else. So why not do it? So those are other places that you want to do. All those social media sites that you've never even heard of. Well, those are great places to put these things on there. If they're around, that means somebody's on those sites. They wouldn't just be up there, all these years as an empty site. So somebody's there, somebody's going to see it. Plus, you get a backlink, so it can be very, very good for doing that.
And amazingly, if you look at their Alexa rank, they're pretty high up.
Oh yeah,
which blows my
they're
mind.
way up
I mean,
there, yeah.
Reddit doesn't, but a lot of them that you wouldn't think would be that high are. So
Yep, some of those are very, very big sites and do very well. So that's the other thing. So we want to put them on the video sites so we can actually upload it to, but you definitely want to share it on all those other sites that can really help to boost your videos. So there you go.
very, very good.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Hey,
So
you got a
any
Mindset
other
Matters?
sites? Any other sites that you like to put things on, Steve?
Well, I use OnlyWire, so it sends them out
So
to
do
all
I.
those.
Well, actually, and I actually,
LinkedIn's good.
I use a few different softwares. I still have OnlyWire, and I still run it through OnlyWire just because I have it. And
Do you use
why not?
SendWire at all?
I don't use SendWire right now. I probably should. Problem is they're so expensive, and it's like I can get some of that stuff done without it. So, but I use something called Rank Cipher to get backlinks, and I use a few other softwares as well. But Traffic Triggers is one that we put out not that long ago that kind of works like OnlyWire as far as that stuff goes, and so we use those and works pretty well. For us,
but LinkedIn is good. Don't forget LinkedIn. That's, that's
LinkedIn
good.
is definitely another good one for that. We share most of our videos there as well. Plurk is definitely one of them as well. I don't think I've ever actually been. I don't think I've ever actually been to Plurk to see what it actually is, but I've shared videos there for years.
Yeah, Plurk is good.
Yep, it sure is. We love Plurk here on the Video Marketing Madness show.
Video Marketing Madness Experience.
That's right. All right, so there you go. So guys, start sharing those videos out there. There's a lot of places that you can get some views, you can get some attention from, and you definitely want to check them out. So
that's right. Very, very good. Okay. Hey, do we have a Mindset Matters?
We do, and let me hit the nice little bumper here. Here we go.
And now, Mindset Matters.
That's right. Well, today's Mindset Matters is a book that I've been reading for the last little while here because I don't get a whole lot of opportunity to read for long periods of time. So we go through a chapter or two a day, and that is Pre-Suasion, P-R-E, Suasion, kind of like persuasion, but reverse the second and third letter. And that's by a guy named, and you've probably heard of him before, Robert Cialdini. And it's a great book that tells you a lot.
Cialdini.
The great, I know, it always sounds like he should be the great Cialdini.
The great Cialdini.
And many of you may know him from his book Influence, which is a very popular book. But Persuasion teaches you how to position the things that you're doing to make sure that people are persuaded by what you have to say and do. And so that includes some great little tips, like, for instance, if you're trying to sell something, you want to have numbers in your sales pages and videos and things like that are all higher than the price. So you want to say, oh, this is 100 times better than anything else out there, and then it's $50. Or, yeah, it's a lot of psychology, a lot of different things, and we learn a lot of strange things. One of the things that I found that he uses to teach you about some of the psychology for marketing is, and I found this one funny, was, and I never knew this, medical students, even though medical students are told this at the beginning of their classes, believe it or not, when medical students start learning about different diseases, they start to come down with the symptoms for that disease. And all of a sudden, oh, wait, I think I have Parkinson's or whatever, and they start coming down with these symptoms, and it's all psychological. And then he talks about, why that is and how that's used for marketing purposes and whatnot. So it's a great book. It's a really interesting one. You can, of course, pick it up on Amazon. You can pick up the audiobook on Audible or on iTunes, and it's well worth the read. It's Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. So there you go.
Very cool. And it's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray the Video Guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. If you like the program, tell your friends.
Yes, and your enemies. Tell your enemies, too.
And your enemies as well.
If you want to get back at your enemies, make them listen to us.
But do not tell the city of Lake Elsinore.
That's right, yes. Avoid them.
Avoid them. Today's show made possible by
freevideoeditor.co, the easy way to start editing your videos and do it without paying a high price. In fact, if you head on over to freevideoeditor.co right now, not only can you download our free video editor, but we've got a whole bunch of other goodies that you'll get as well, so that you can start editing today, just like the pros, without the pro price. So check it out at freevideoeditor.co and leave off the last M for
mommy.
Mommy, for mommy. Leave off the last M for mommy. There we go. All right. So that's it. That's our show for today. Steve, what are you going to do for the rest of the week?
Well, I'm going to work. I'm
Excellent.
going to be productive, but I'm still going to sleep in.
All right. Well, everything that we talk about here does work, by the way, as long as you do. So we recommend that you put in the work, and you'll be able to get the rewards out of that as well. So until next time, I'm Ray the Video Guy for Steve Sleeper, and let's hit that crazy song one more time.
Play that funky music.
He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy.